have any of this stuff happen to me, but it's just what has happened. And God has humbled me. God has put me in a place. I currently live in a very small apartment. The only one that I could find in Montgomery County that's in a nice, safe environment. As you see, I have a little girl, and one of the jobs as a father is to protect her. So I wanted to make sure that we lived in an area that was safe. See, God may have answered my prayer as coming up here to where I'm living. I live in Damascus, Maryland currently. I was trying to find a place, for under $1,000. The apartment I was living at was over $1,300. So I found this little apartment for $925 a month. And we're making do here. Live a little further away from my daughter and her mother. Not too far. It's a little bit, it can be a little inconvenient at times, but still within distance for me to drive. But anyway, God sometimes will put you in a humble place. Sometimes we look at our materialistic possessions, and what happens when we lose them? We lose a house. We lose a car. Don't quite have enough money to buy that expensive pair of jeans or shoes that we used to buy. Well, God sometimes humbles us for His purpose. A couple years ago, I was thinking about wanting to serve the Lord. And I thought that, hey, maybe I could be a pastor, but I need some money to be able to serve Him. So I was working for a gold buyer full-time, not making the kind enough money that I needed to survive, but I was thinking if I did it myself, if I started my own business, then maybe I can make a little bit more money, and I'd have enough to take care of my family, and then also maybe I'd have enough to start my own ministry. Well, I went out with my plans, thinking that, hey, I know the gold business, thinking that I can do this, and I can make myself better myself by doing my own business. I concentrated daily on the numbers, on how to buy gold. I even had little charts that I made. If I buy it at this price, I sell at this price, this is how much profit I make. And I was thinking I was going to make buku bucks. Well, I didn't really have any money saved up, so I went out and got a loan. The first time I tried to get a loan, they denied me. But they said I can ask for less. And I was so eager to start my own business, so I asked for less. And I got the money, and I figured out some new formulas on how I could do it on a shoestring budget. Well, some things I didn't realize was that it takes some time to open a business, especially with all the government regulations. I thought, hey, I can open a business within a few weeks or maybe a month. No, it took about 3 months before I got all my licenses in place, and I was able to actually open the doors to my business. The second week in the business, the gold value dropped within 2 days over $200. The first purchase that I made in the gold business now lost all its profit. And I thought, well, hey, the gold price will go back up. It always does. It didn't go back up. After about 4, maybe 5 months in the business, I had to close the doors because I could not make enough money to take care of my personal bills. I was making half of what I made before as an hourly employee. Go figure. I thought a business owner would make a lot more money. And I'm thinking, how can I serve God now without making the money I set out to do? Well, I started reading my Bible, and there's a passage in the Bible that talks about serving 2 masters. You cannot serve God and manna. You cannot serve God and money, or mammon, I should say, which really means money. And I thought about that. And I still had this desire to serve God, but I still need to pay my bills. So when I went out of business, I had my DJ. Um, I'm still doing DJ work. Not doing it quite as often because of the economy, but I was still doing that, so that was giving me some income. And I immediately went out, and the very first Craigslist ad that I saw that looked interesting, I called up, and I got another part-time job working as a merchandiser. And some old friends in the gold business were looking for someone to work part-time, knowing that I have all my licenses to buy gold and that I'm trustworthy. They hired me to work part-time, so now I'm working 3 part-time jobs trying to make ends meet. Well, how can I serve God without having the money to start a church, to start an organization? Well, God humbled me and got me to thinking a few days prior to Christmas. And the word prayer came up in my mind. And later on, I realized that I could pray. I could pray for people. And this Christmas Day, it so happened to be that I was home alone. See, my daughter was with her family, with her mother's family that day. My parents live out in Delaware, and my siblings are all celebrating Christmas with their families. So we're actually going to celebrate the weekend after Christmas as a family. So I'm here alone in Damascus, Maryland, without a car, currently, thinking, what can I do? Well, I came up with the idea to pray. And so I put some ads out on Craigslist, I got some responses, and that's what I did. Praying for people that I don't even know, praying for loved ones and family members. I made a list. I don't know the exact number, but it was probably somewhere, well, I guess I could count them, but it's about 100 people, a little over possibly, that I prayed for on Christmas Day. It's not to boast about my service, but what it is to show you too can pray for people. There is real power in prayer. And I'm hoping to follow up with some of those people I prayed for, and as I see them, I ask them how they're doing, and I like to hear maybe perhaps something has happened to them. Maybe they were healed from an ailment. Perhaps they got a financial blessing. Perhaps they're just having a good time, their spirits are up, and they're being encouraged. But I know that there's real power in prayer. And it's not, you don't have to pay for it. Don't ever be deceived by some organization that says, hey, we're going to pray for you, but send us $15 or send us $100. No. Don't be deceived by someone who has a whole bunch of letters out there that are still sealed. They put it on the altar and they say they're praying for all these letters. They haven't even opened them up to see what they say. Don't be deceived by that. But call out to people who really want to pray for you. You have family and friends, maybe church members. Go to them and ask them to pray for you. If you don't have anyone, you can come to me. Send me an email to servantoftheway@gmail.com. I started my ministry on Christmas Day, my prayer ministry, and I'm going to continue daily as I receive emails and requests for people to pray for. I'm also going to pray for people that are on my heart. There's going to be power in prayer. I'll guarantee it that God is going to answer these prayers. That He's going to come forth. He's going to hear the prayers. Sometimes it's not always the answer we want to get. Because, yet, see, God does things for His will and purpose in our lives. There will be times where God will heal people. There will be times that God will give you financial blessings. But there are going to be times where you may be humbled and put into a situation for God's purpose. You see, that's where I'm at right now. That's where I'm at. I've had a failed relationship with my wife. I failed with my finances because of some of my desires that I wanted to do. But God has humbled me. He still is giving me my daily provision. He's helped me with having 3 part-time jobs right now. It's barely enough to really scrape by, but I'm scraping by. I'm going to figure out a way, but that way is going to be figured with God, for God's purpose and will. Now, you could be in a place of financial blessing. Perhaps God has blessed you, and you're listening to this video right now. If you feel like you would like to donate to my ministry, you may send me an email at servantoftheway@gmail.com, and I will reply to your email on directions on how you could donate. I will tell you this, that I live in a very small apartment. I have no desire to live in a big mansion. Definitely don't have a desire to be flown around in a fancy jet like some of these ministers that we see on TV. But I do have a desire to serve the Lord. I will pray for people. There will be folks that have sent me very specific prayer needs. Like they may need food, they may need clothes, they may need money to pay their rent. And I really do feel that these folks who have sent me these requests are in real need. So if I have an abundance if I have some donations and we can move that forward to these folks, what I would do is go ahead and maybe purchase some gift cards for grocery items and mail that to these folks, or maybe I'll send them a check with some money to help them pay their bills. I want you to pray about it. I don't want you to think that any money that you may send me is going to be used for anything that's not according to the will of God. Any money that you do send will be according to His will, and we're going to pray about it, and we're going to see where we're going to meet those needs. In any event, if I don't receive any money, that's fine too, because I'm doing what God has called me to do. That is to pray, and in the future you're going to be hearing more sermons. I'm going to put some stuff out on CD that I will mail to people and give out to people. And I'll continue to maybe make a few more YouTube videos and put some sermons on there. What you should do is go ahead and pray. In the comfort of your home somewhere. It doesn't have to be boastful prayer, just be a simple personal prayer. Just pray as if you're talking to a friend. And that friend is Jesus. Just go ahead and pray to Him. And ask Him what is the desire that He wants you to do in your life. Jesus is a great encourager, a comforter. He gives us wisdom. And as you pray, I ask that you get yourself one of these, get a Bible, and just start opening it up and reading it. You can look at the back of the Bible to find out some areas you can go ahead and read. But get yourself a Bible. And also, what I use is Where to Find in the Bible by Ken Anderson. You can pick this up at Ollie's for $4.99. Little small investment there. Get one of these and it'll help you find out some discussion topics that you may have. Anyway, this is Minister Terry. I hope you have a blessed day. Go ahead and send me an email, whether to pray for you, maybe to give me some encouragement, or if you do have a donation that you wish to use for the power of God, you may email me and I'll give you directions how to do that. This is really my service. The word minister means servant. What I'm really doing is trying to serve the community. One day I would like to be a full-time minister. And if God puts that in my hands, that will come forth within time. Right now I do work 3 part-time jobs to try to make ends meet. And I'm going to do my little part. Whatever I can do for people, I will do. Whether it's praying for them, linking them up with someone who has been blessed, who has gifts and offerings to help someone else out, I'll do that. But anyway, send me an email, servantoftheway@gmail.com. You all have a blessed day. Goodbye.